नमो नमः आपको वेलकम टू दिस चैनल named as Shruti Parampara, which is you can say heritage of the Vedas. Shruti means Veda. We all know that we have four Vedas in our country, and Vedas are the main source of our culture, our dharma. Dharma word cannot be translated as religion, so I am not using the word religion. Religion is different and dharma is different. Whatever has been preached in Vedas is dharma. It is not religion. It is universal. Dharma is universal, whereas religion is personal. What has been preached in Vedas is universal, and we must know what we are having through these Vedas in our country. In our ancient times, these Vedas have been preached through, have come to us through the rishis. Rishis were those who had visualized the mantras of Vedas. Whatever has been said in Vedas, they are known as mantra, not as shlok or anything else. They are known as mantra, because mantra is something which cannot be altered, which has been come directly from Brahma, Ishwar. Here also I am not using the word God, the English word, because the meaning of Deva or Ishwar is not what is meant by God in English, because Sanskrit is a language which is non-translatable. The terms used in Sanskrit language cannot be translated in any other language. So those who are born in India, Indian culture, Bharat, they can only understand the meaning of these words, because in the Western countries, their culture is entirely different what we have been what we have in our country, and we have been listening to them from our childhood. So the sanskara which we develop from our childhood, through those sanskaras we can understand the meaning of these words, which the Westerners, other countries, they cannot understand, because they have not gone through that kind of sanskara. So they cannot at all fathom the meaning of those words. What is the what those words want to convey? So we will in our this channel we will try to understand what the Vedas have given us, and we have because of Western influence we have gone far away from this from our language Sanskrit. I am speaking in English only because many of our countrymen, they are not conversant with Sanskrit and or any other the Hindi language is spoken in a large part of North India, but in southern parts most many people do not understand Hindi. So I have decided to speak in English and try to convey the thoughts of our thoughts which we have received through Vedas. This cannot be translated, but can be explained. That is why that can be explained in any language, but cannot be translated, because we do not have equivalent words in other languages. But Indian languages do have, because all the Indian languages are they are born out of Sanskrit. They have the words of Sanskrit only. So since the words are from Sanskrit, so they bear the same meaning. That's why it is possible to understand the words of Sanskrit verses and Sanskrit mantras in our Indian languages, in our vernacular, the Hindi, Bangla, Marathi, etc. In these languages, we can understand the meaning of those words because all these languages are formed from out of Sanskrit. Almost all the words are from Sanskrit. So that's why we can go through them and understand those words if we study them in our own language. But since in many parts of our country, people know English, but they do not know Sanskrit. Like every region has their own language. The part of the state, language is named with that state. Like the language spoken in Bengal is Bangla. The language spoken in Gujarat is Gujarati. Language spoken in Punjab is Punjabi. Similarly, in foreign countries, the language spoken in England in English, in France in French, Germany German, like that. But Sanskrit, it has no name. It is attached with any area or with any country. Sanskrit means pure, which is purest form of language, purest form of your vani, this speech, purest form of speech, that is Sanskrit. And this Sanskrit, we have received this language, this Sanskrit, this speech from Vedas. And we believe that Vedas are not a construction of mankind. Like a writer writes a novel or a poetry, it is not like that. This is a collection of mantras visualized by our rishis, and therefore it is directly received from God. I have just used the word God incidentally, but here I mean it has been directly received from Ishwar. What is Ishwar? We will, in our next episodes, we will come across all this meaning of these words, which has been used in our Sanskrit language in our ancient treatises. So, since this is called Apaurushaya, meaning it has not been spoken by any mankind, it has come from directly from Ishwar. So the language is also Apaurushaya. If Vedas are Apaurushaya, then the language is also so. And that is why that is called Devavani. It was received from Dev, Arthat, from Ishwar. And from this language, other languages in the course of time, slowly, degeneration happened. So Sanskrit language, which came to us through Vedas, it was perfect. There is no addition can be done to that. Whatever has happened thereafter, it is on a degeneration, not any progress, not a further development. What we see that mankind civilization is developed from the man who lived in caves. They started living in homes, and this is called development. You progress. But Sanskrit is a language which was perfect right from the beginning, and thereafter whatever happened, it is only degeneration, not any progress. Because what the thing which is already perfect, you cannot add anything to it. So this is why there is a Sanskrit is a perfect language, and in that language we have received the Vedas, and our later on our acharyas have written Vyakaran and Shastras, which has made this language in such a way that no one could do any, no word could be added to it. It could not be polluted. In other languages, you accept words from other places, but in Sanskrit, you cannot add any word from any other language. So Sanskrit remains pure as it is right from the beginning. The Sanskrit, what was in Vedas and what is today, is still today, the same Sanskrit. There have been little variations from Veda to up to the time of Paranini, but that is very little, not very significant. So in the same book, Panini, by the same book Ashtadhyayi, Panini has given the Vyakaran, the sutras about Vedas and what we Sanskrit use today. So wherever there is a variation, he has given a separate formula, a sutra for that. So they are not so many. So in the same Vyakaran, we can learn the Vedic Vyakaran as well as today's. There are two sections, Vedic and Laukic. Laukic Sanskrit means the Sanskrit which we use today, and Vedic Sanskrit means the Sanskrit which was in Vedas. So from Vedas, when some in the time after few thousand years, some variations took place, and the Sanskrit which came to be used later on, that is now called uh, Laukic Sanskrit, in which other Sahitya has been constructed, like Kalidas, Bhagavati, the writers who have written their own these books. That is called Laukic Sanskrit. And the Sanskrit which was in Vedas, that is called Vedic Sanskrit. So that is only the difference. But the Vyakaran remains almost the same. There is very few differences in Vedic and Laukic Sanskrit. So now today this much only. And next, in our next episode, we will explain the how Vedas were received, and what are their categorization, how their categorization was done, and what are the significances. This we will discuss slowly in our next episodes, and try to bring about the Vedic knowledge to our listeners. Those who want to know about Vedas will definitely get some insight through our episodes, what Vedas mean to us. So today this much only. Namo Namaha.